Desperate, like that desperation is sincere. I want to change my life. So the universe sets you up with someone who will help you with that.
People want to feel this way, but it's what they don't know.
Of course,
get me?
They don't know they have a choice.
Yeah, so you guys have a choice.
And I feel the energy. Everyone around me, even if they're not aware, they feel the energy. Even the birds, you can hear the birds, they are loving it.
My past life, I was a warrior. I swear, I just feel it. Amazing. You're an awesome person. She's legit, everybody, guys. Seriously.
What was it, or what was the first time in which you felt compelled to search for something more than what you were currently doing with your life?
That's a good question. I honestly felt like my world was gonna end.
Wow.
I was in college. I know that I had really relied on partners for codependency, right? I couldn't be alone because I was alone in my thoughts. And so there was this time where I was pretty much leaving a relationship that I thought was supposed to be something forever, something that was legitimately what I thought was love at the time. I remember thinking, like, what's going on here? Like, I had almost an epiphany.
What happens?
Yeah, I was like, wait, I know that this hurts so much, but in that knowing, I felt also so free at the same time. And it was such a distinctive feeling that I had never felt before. You know, I was like, whoa, like I'm really sad, but I'm also really happy that this happened, and I don't know why, right? Because I'm losing somebody that I thought was supposed to be something more, right? In that duration, I remember like asking myself, why is it that I keep attracting the same partners, but increasingly getting worse with time? That's when I started asking those questions and just trying to seek the answers.
Nice.
Yeah.
For me, that was pretty similar too. Like I had hit rock bottom in my life, and I had achieved everything I wanted. I had the career, the whatever accomplishments. I was living in a city that I loved, Boston, and I had built this amazing life for myself. But I was in a relationship that was toxic, and I was settling because I was afraid to be alone. And something happened, and I won't go into the detail, but it was like, what am I doing? You know, I like woke up the next day and I was like talking to the universe or just anyone in general because I didn't have a connection. And I was like, I will do anything. I'm tired of being tired. I'm tired of being sad. I will do anything to change my life. And I think the universe like feels that sincerity, you know, that it's almost like desperation, that like I am truly willing to do anything to change my life. And all of a sudden I was guided to a bookstore. I found a book, and then I found another book, and then I started getting messages, and my intuition was like, you know, and I just feel like that's how we are guided. We have to say yes to the universe, to ourselves, and then that's how it begins. But I feel like people now, because of the energy of the earth and how things are accelerated and we're ascending so quickly, I feel we don't have to hit rock bottom anymore. At least for me, that's my personal opinion. I feel like it's a simple consent to the universe. So I'm glad you found your way and we met each other and you're on your journey.
Thank you. I have a question for you.
Yes.
This is something that I see people asking. Why do you think at the level of technology that we're in, the level of advancements, right? We have everything at our discretion. Why is it that we still have people that are losing themselves from source? Given that we have, if anything, more awareness of it now.
I see. So you're saying because the information is so readily available, like on Instagram or like social media, why is it that everyone is almost lost or pure? Okay. This is a really good question. The answer is not outside of us. It's actually inside of us. Our connection to source is inside. And people don't know how to do that. They just were not educated or even like aware, because especially in this era, if you're born, like a cell phone is handed to you, right?
Yeah.
You get your own cell phone. And so you're looking at a screen, you're looking at something outside of yourself, you're looking for the answer that is in your hand when it's actually in your heart.
Yeah.
You need to, like, you know, meditate. You need to be quiet, actually. You need to sit down. Ask your heart, what is the answer? But I will say this in defense of humanity, things are changing. And we are being forced to look inside because Instagram doesn't have the answer, Facebook doesn't, TikTok doesn't have the answer, my mom doesn't have the answer, whatever, my boss doesn't. It's like we are being forced to find the answers within us. So that's the good news for humanity. But you're right, yes. Given the amount of information that is readily available and all the gurus and all the teachers out there, we are still looking outwards. And that the answer is actually in.
I'm sorry.
No, please. I know you're about to say something. I know you.
My gosh, you brought up a good point. Gurus. So let me ask you this question.
Yes.
You're amazing. You're an awesome person.
Thank
She's
you.
legit, everybody, guys. Seriously. A person that is new to this journey, seeking guidance, right? If they need help, how can you go to somebody and more so do your due diligence and see, okay, is this a person that I can really trust? How can you determine that?
Yeah, that's a multi-layered question or answer. So I will try to cover all of the pieces, okay? The first answer is you, okay? Because we attract who we are, not we attract what we want, we attract who we are. So if you are not of integrity with yourself, if your heart isn't open, if you're not ready for the answer, the truth, you are going to get someone who's not going to be honest. You're going to get someone who is will tell you half the answer, maybe even tell you what you want to hear, because you're not in integrity with yourself. Right. So it's like, I want to hide. Can you please just tell me what I want to hear energetically? That's what you're saying to the reader. And if the reader is legit, they will say to you, you're not ready to hear the truth, or it's not clear, the message isn't clear, or they will just tell you what your aura is reading. Because that, as readers, that's what we do. We actually just tap into what's going on with you. So the first person that to start with is you. And what I recommend is you say to yourself, even if you don't know what the hell you're doing, because most of us don't, is you say, I don't know what's about to happen. I don't know who is the right person to give me a reading, but I'm seeking guidance and my heart is open and I will do my best. That's it.
Wow.
I will do my best, you know? Please help me to hear the truth. Please help me to see the truth. Something like that sets you up for success because you're already asking for help. So then the right reader will come to you. But if you're going in to be like, you're complaining about someone, he did this, he did that, and you don't want to look at your own stuff, then you're going to get someone who's going to give you tarot cards that say, yeah, he did this and he did that. Go ahead, you go with that? I can see.
Okay, from a person is on TikTok and has the app, it's funny because you do see people on lives. These people they're monetized. They are literally have their tarot cards out, are on live, and then they're like, ask me any question. And I kid you not, it's mainly about a person. Does this person want me back? And then they'll be like, yes, this person wants you back. And then people will be like, my delusion just went up.
Exactly. You get what you're giving out. If you want a legit reader, or if you want just someone who is of integrity, like God, let's just start there, because everywhere you get on social media and it's like, that person doesn't even look like who they look like, you know, there's a filter. So if you want someone of integrity who is meant for you, you have to start with you. Open your heart. That's why the people who hit rock bottom, they are sincere. They're like desperate. Like, that desperation is sincere. I want to change my life. So the universe sets you up with someone who will help you with that, right? Okay, the second thing, let's move on, is if you sit down with a reader, you feel nervous, you feel something is wrong in your gut, because our bodies don't lie, that is not probably the right reader for you. First thing is, I always tell people, if you're looking for someone like a healer, like even Reiki, acupuncture, any kind of healing modality, you have to resonate with that person. Your soul will know that other soul is right for you. This is the right person. I feel safe. I feel a sense of calm. I feel clarity. That's what you're looking for. Not like I'm nervous or this doesn't feel right. That's probably not the right fit. Okay. So, and I always say shop around, you know, because if you're going to buy, like, say, a cute bag, you would look around, right?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do that for a reader, a healer, whatever? It's the same thing.
Wow.
If you don't like your doctor, you change your doctor. Same thing. Okay, and the last thing is readers are usually legit if they say something to you and you feel it in your bones. So there are different signs. You can feel chills. You can even feel energy in your back. You could feel energy on your side, and or a sense of like love, a big hug. The reader says something that you've heard before from another reader, because the reader is talking to your spirit guide, and your spirit guide is saying the same message that you need to hear. So it's like, so another reader told me that usually means that reader is right on.
Okay. That's
and
great.
Like synchronicities, or even a message that you got before. So like you always say to me when we're talking, you're like, oh, just yesterday, I heard that same message. So you will see like the synchronicities, the message coming up in a different way, multiple times. Yeah.
That's great. I actually saw that today too. Remember you were asking me, have you had any downloads or have you like seen any spirits or energy? I've been learning that through you. And so I asked them and I asked my spirit guides, and I just sat there because I'm trying to right now specifically determine what's my response, because immediately you'll say something and you'll think it's them, but it's not. It's just you. I'm sorry, it just makes me laugh because it's funny. I'll believe myself and I'm like, oh wait, it said this, but it's not. And so I've been trying to understand that. I was channeling his energy. His spirit guides were telling him, have compassion with yourself. It's not your fault. And it's not your responsibility. And I heard that with you. You said the exact same thing.
Exactly.
I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. Because that just confirms to me that this is something that he needed to hear.
Exactly.
Oh,
yes. It is a message for him. If he hears it from different sources, that is your message.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That was great. That is it. Perfect. Question for you. I'm going to speak to your era. I don't like to say generation because like sometimes we're all in this together. I know that people who are born today come in with different gifts. They're like ready to go. Whereas when I was born, I had to learn and I had to find my way through, I feel like, a darkness. But I feel like you guys, at least people that are in their like teens and 20s, come in with, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but with so much light, so much knowledge, so much wisdom. It's almost like they got upgraded to the spirituality that we didn't, you know? Like there's a chip inserted and it's like, here you go down to earth and please save the earth, you know? It's like that. What would you say, or what is your hope for mankind or our future? If you had to tell your generation something right now, what message would you say? Because here's why I'm asking you. If we were to talk to 70-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 50-year-olds right now, they're so, and this is a generalization, most of them are set in their ways, and most of them were born in 3D, third dimension, right? Which is totally different, and there's nothing wrong with it. But I feel people being born right now and in the recent years, let's just say a decade or two, they come in 4D. 4D is of the heart, 4D is feelings, 4D is empathy. They're born in that 4D. And then the next generation will be 5D, you know? So it just keeps progressing. So what I guess I'm asking is, if you can tell the people that live in 4D right now anything, what would it be?
It would be that they can do anything in this world. Anything.
Yeah.
Looking at our generation, we're going to have people that are going to be naysayers, and it's not necessarily their fault.
Yeah.
It's more so what they were taught, right?
Yeah.
I want to be the example and also part of those people that will say anything that we put our mind to, we can do, because that's true.
Exactly.
You are the creator. We're all one. We're a piece of God, right? So if we're on this earth, it's for greater things. I don't want for this generation that's coming up to think that they have any limitations, because like we were talking about earlier, we have everything and more at our discretion. Why not create? Why not create the best life that you want? I don't blame necessarily people that don't know what they don't know. And I understand that and I see it. And some people just aren't ready to see certain things. But when you really see the change, when you really see the change that people make when they come from a point of desperation, try to be in this point for and live and survive for so long that finally they get to a point where they can't. And when they become that person that's open, that opens their hearts, I've seen it. I've seen the change that you can make. And I'm that person, right? I've been in that era where I thought I couldn't do anything, consciously and subconsciously. But when you get to the other side, I don't know if I want to call it the other side, but I guess consciousness, it's an overwhelming feeling of joy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like why don't people want to feel this way? But it's what they don't know.
Of
You
course.
get me?
They don't know they have a choice.
Yeah. So you guys have a choice. I always tell myself this. I tell you this too. I would be so funny of a person if I had all of this awareness and I did nothing with it. It's like having all the tools but not like creating the art, and it's right there.
Exactly.
But
there are people who do that. Fear or unworthiness, whatever. Yeah. And I think that's what's so great about you, is that you don't have any of that. You're almost still like a child, and it's in a good way, which is like, we're gonna go climb this mountain, and she's like, okay, let's go. And she doesn't have any hiking shoes or a jacket, and she's like, let's, and that's what's so amazing about you. Is like, when I first met you, this is what we're gonna do, this is the mentorship program, and you were like, I'm ready. Did you hear what I said? That kind of enthusiasm, that kind of like sincerity, that kind of integrity, the universe loves. And so when you say that you can do anything, people believe you because you believe that within yourself. So thank you for sharing that. And I think that was why the universe asked me to ask you, tell me to ask you that question. If someone of your age or younger sees you saying that and believes it, that's automatically going to ignite within them that, because we all have that within ourselves. We are all people that came here. You are living on this earth right now in humanity. You came here to make a difference, however your expression of that is. We just all need to be reminded, and that's why we're doing this. Yeah. Anyways.
And just to add on to that, I was also reading in the book that we were talking about, Power versus Force. I was reading that when we get to a certain level of consciousness, we actually need the diversity that we have. So there are people that are going to be watching this like, I don't know if I can do this because I feel XYZ, but we actually need people that are very different to create. It's like Avengers. We're creating a bunch of Avengers. Like, we need the diversity that people have out there, right?
True.
Everybody has a unique quality to them, and that can be their power. That is their power. It is.
Their unique expression is actually necessary to save the earth. To move forward, and not even save, or we're past that, but it's like, how can we ascend to the highest and most aligned version of what this expression is? We need everyone to participate.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I got chills. That's great. So we need you, and you are here for a reason. So this message resonates with you. Like or subscribe. Anyways,
I love that.
Yeah. That's great. The other thing that you reminded me of is that I learned this in 5D, which is the fifth dimension. You could Google it. All of us are our own domain. We all have energy. So just in general, our energy from ourselves expands out 20 feet. So in a circular motion, 20 feet is my energy expanding out if I want to. Now, if you are limiting yourself and you're saying, I am not going to express my energy, I'm just going to have everyone affect my energy, you can do that. That's your choice. It is free will, right? But when I think of love, so here's an example. I'm sitting in myself, I'm going within, because that's where everything is, and I go into my heart, and I say, what do I want? I want love. So right now I'm just going to express unconditional love. So I connect with source. I go all the way up until I find my connection with source. I bring that energy back into my heart, and then envision whatever you want to do. You can envision it, you can feel it. Pink light, which is unconditional love. Okay. Then I take that energy, that light, all the way out, 20 feet extending out. So now the guy in the parking lot feels it. The person on the street, you feel it, right? So here I go, and I want you to feel the energy that I'm expanding out. Unconditional light. I'm sweeping my energy around. And as I do that, because energy cannot be destroyed, source is just giving me more because I'm a channel now. It is so powerful. Because I'm doing that, source is like, here's more, here's more. And we will give you as much as you can hold. That's what source does. So here I go, I'm gonna do it again. I feel the energy, and everyone around me, even if they're not aware, they feel the energy, and they also then, like on a subconscious level, adjust to that or receive it or repel, whatever they want to do. Even the birds, you can hear the birds, they are loving it. All arrived because they are like, look, there's energy. You can feel it, right? So what I was taught is to bring it back into you, which you can do, but I've become so comfortable with handling energy that I just let it out. And I'm driving in my car. Okay, this has happened to me. This happens to me every day, this story. So what happens is, because I have a team of like 1 million angels, I told you, and I always disperse them everywhere, whoever needs help. I'm like, angels, go over there and help that person. There are many times in which I'm trying to leave my house and I can't. I'll forget a coat. I'll forget my water. So I have to go back and I have to go back. And I'm like, universe, I'm going to be late. And the universe is like, well, you can't leave yet. You can't leave. And I'm like, fine. So I'm chilling. I'm drinking some more water. I go use the bathroom. Can I leave now? Yes. Okay, leave now. I get in my car and I'm driving. And I kid you not, the moment I drive down the street, so there's a way that I normally go, but the universe is like, no, you need to go down this way. Please turn this way. Same direction that I'm headed, it's just a different path. So I turn down the street, and as I drive down, I see an accident happen right before my eyes. One car hits another car. This big pole, you know, those poles for the lights, the traffic lights, it hits. It falls down because the car ran into it.
Oh my gosh.
The other car hit that other car, and that pole fell down. Now, if I wasn't there because my energy operates so high, the accident could have been worse. And as soon as I see it, I say, angels, help those people. And I send it pink light or white light, whatever light it needs. And now the accident is less severe than it could have been. And maybe someone could have died, but now their lives are saved. And this happens to me all the time.
Wow.
I will get to an accident right as it's happening. I won't be in the accident.
Wow.
I will be right before or after, so I can send. And if I had left any earlier in my home, I would be in the accident.
That's interesting.
Right?
Okay, so would you say that people that live in higher energies naturally, not necessarily that you attract that energy, but you more so see it more often?
I can only speak for myself in that when I am needed somewhere, I am guided to there.
Interesting.
Yes, there'll be people sitting next to me on the plane or in public places, and I'm like, there are millions of seats open, and the person's sitting next to me, and I'm like, universe, what's happening? And it's like, that person just needs some love. Can you just hold space for that?
Yeah.
Sure. So whatever you are called to do, the universe will orchestrate it for you, but you have to be the one to say yes. You have to show up. You have to follow your intuition. I could have been stubborn, which I have been many times in the past. I could have been stubborn and said, no, I'm leaving now. And then everything doesn't work out because I'm not aligned. Or I can say, yes, I hear you. I trust you. What do you want me to do now? How do you want me to show up? Where do you need me to be? And I used to say that intentionally every day, but now it's just such a part of my life that I don't have to ask. I'll just be like, okay, I can't leave yet, because I forgot whatever it is in the house I forgot, or I need the bathroom.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing the universe does to me, is it makes me use the bathroom because it knows I will stop.
Yeah.
Anyways, pay attention to the synchronicities.
That's great.
So everyone has their own domain. You have your own domain. And when I say domain, you get to decide what happens in that 20 feet radius. Do you want to be sad or do you want to be happy? That's why you could walk into a room or a building and you could feel the energy. It's because they're radiating their energy within your space now. You walked in the 20 feet of their energy. You have to say, oh, this is not mine, because just 5 minutes ago I was so happy.
Yeah.
What is this, and do I want to participate in this?
I was going to ask you a question regarding that. Also, people look at you too. I've noticed that a lot of people stare. I don't know if it's like, I think it's because you're just very bright, right? That people look at you. Because like you said, like, sometimes people will just want to sit next to you.
Exactly.
You know?
They want, because people don't know what it feels like to be aligned. They don't know what it feels like to be connected to source, because they don't do it themselves. So when they meet someone, that's why Jesus and all of like the ascended masters were so magnetic, is because they are so connected that people gravitate towards them.
Yeah.
After your meditation, you go out into the world, people are going to stare at you. They're going to be drawn to you because they want that connection. They're seeking it. And one day they're going to say, what are you doing that I need to do? I want to look like you. I want to be as happy as you. Please show me. And then that's when you're like, well.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's how we help each other.
Yeah.
You know? That's how we help each other.
Can I switch up the topic?
Yes.
Okay. This is something I want to know. This is just a personal question, but tapping into past lives. I've heard, correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard that if we're on Earth, we probably lived more than once.
For sure.
Okay. So my thing is, not recently, like a couple years ago, I meditated and I was meditating on my past life. I think it's obviously very important to know kind of where you come from or where you derive from, because you'll see certain qualities fall into this world. This life of mine, it's so funny. I always felt like in my past life, I was a warrior. I swear, I just feel it. Yeah. I was meditating and I just got an image, and it was a skull, and then it had equipment on it, and it was so scary because it was instant. So I remember Googling like ancient Egyptians, and a lot of them resonated. The Sphinx, all of that resonated with me, because for some reason, I'm about to get to my question, sorry, I'm like going everywhere. But prior to that, I remember doing a meditation on like what I needed at the time, and this is probably 3 years ago. And I envisioned a bunch of people surrounding me, and I was on the floor, and they were giving me equipment, steel equipment, and it was so heavy on me, and my body was like, and they're like, all right, you're ready to go now.
It's your uniform.
Yeah. I guess my question is, to somebody that doesn't understand, why would it be important to understand how you've lived in the past? That's my question.
That's a really good question. And that brings us to karma, and it brings us to cellular DNA tissue that stays with us, and then regret and shame and guilt that stays with us. So let's just start with karma. So we were born into this world in a very karmic stage. Karma can be seen as many different things, but what I know for my truth is that karma is something you have done in the past. Doesn't mean it was wrong or right, just no judgment. Just something you have done, and some of us come back to reconcile that. Now I say reconcile because it doesn't mean you're atoning. To me, I have learned there's no judgment. It's only unconditional love. But if you are a student and you said, as a child, I did really poorly in math. As an adult, to compensate for that, right, or reconcile, you probably would do Sudoku, or you would be an accountant, or you would just try to be better at math, to be more well-rounded and balanced.
Right.
So in karma, that's what we try to achieve. So if you were a warrior, which you were in a past life, reconcile that within you to balance it out. You will say, I would like to come into another lifetime in which I uplift and help and serve.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Many people, and you have a reaction to this,
Yeah.
a body reaction to it. So that is your soul saying, we've come to do that in this lifetime. And that is why you are doing it. And our soul is very good about giving us pieces of information when we need it at the exact time. So you are being shown this because he wanted to remind you of your role. Why did you come here again? because you didn't have to. We're all complete. We're all like, we don't have to do anything. We're just here to learn. We are complete whole souls. So you came in with the intention of that, helping millions of people to balance that lifetime. And what we do in past life regression is I take you back and you talk to that person you were and you say, listen, it's not your fault. You did your best. We wanted to experience that. There's no judgment. You could put that down. I love you. Thank you for all the lessons we learned. You know, it must have been difficult. I'm sorry. Whatever that part of your soul needs to hear. And then you say, I got you in this lifetime. I will redeem all of that. I will balance it for us. And then that part of you gets transmuted to love. And you're free. And now your expression in this lifetime is not through guilt and shame and fear. It is through, I just want to love and help people now. So that's why past life regression and understanding your past lives is so important. So you could free yourself from that and come from a higher expression.
So would you say that that's why certain qualities come into you naturally?
That's why you want to fight. And that's why you're like, I want to go and I am the leader and I want to do this.
That explains a lot.
Yes. And once you know that, you can be like, yes, I love those qualities about me, but that doesn't have to be the major qualities. I can do it from love and compassion too. Yeah. And then now you're more well-rounded and balanced. So that's why understanding your past lives are really important. And that was an amazing question. And I'm so glad you asked it.
Thank you. Yeah. You just blew my mind. I need a second.
Yeah, and we blew everyone's mind, you know? Like, seriously. And in the next session, we will do a past life regression.
Okay.
Yeah, that was incredible. And I really appreciate you guys being here with us. I'm sending love to every single one of you. It's unconditional love, pink light, and you can feel that. So thank you, Ashley.
Thank you
for being so vulnerable and sharing your journey with us. I'm really happy to be here.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We all thank you.
Bye,
Bye, guys.
Jinx.